WrestleQuest is the brand new game from MegaCat Studios that combines 16-bit classic RPG mechanics with bone-crunching, elbow-dropping wrestling. Here to tell me more is James Deighan, Zack Manko, and Sergeant Slaughter. Hey!
Hello.
Morning.
Zack, James, can you guys walk us through the game a little bit? Like, give an audience the tease.
So WrestleQuest is the world's first turn-based wrestling JRPG. It brings all the larger-than-life spectacle of wrestling characters from the golden era to a new world with rich narrative storytelling. Tons of action figures. I want you to think of it more as a Toy Story meets wrestling and like a Lord of the Rings high fantasy world.
Zack, do you have anything to add?
I think only thing to add would be that we really focused on taking that classic JRPG combat formula and then making it more engaging and interesting and fun through adding wrestling elements.
Sergeant Slaughter, can you talk a little bit about how you ended up connected to the game?
Well, it was a fortunate day for me when I was asked to join the forces of WrestleQuest and put my input in and let them take Sergeant Slaughter places that he'd never been in a wrestling ring or outside the wrestling ring, and allow me to train fans to become wrestlers.
You know,
Amazing.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I don't think we would have finished the game if it wasn't for Sarge's constant motivation.
It's true.
Yeah, can you talk more about that a little bit?
It's the instruction. It's really having a drill instructor is the secret sauce for us. Without him, I don't think we would have pushed any code, would have finished any sprites.
Without being called maggot over and over and
A
over again.
lot of push-ups, a lot of
yeah.
push-ups.
Oh, yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
more now like a maggot than I ever have.
Right, yeah.
So how does it feel to have a game that celebrates wrestling without being tied to any specific company?
I think that's actually our fantasy. You know, we feel like it's better for the fans, and it is a fan-driven, fan-first dream for us. It's coming true.
Anything to add, Zack?
I think beyond that, it's also about showcasing every side of wrestling, you know, because there's towns themed after certain styles like Lucha Libre or hardcore. So, again, it's about showing every spice and flavor the wrestling has to offer.
So let's talk about the roster a little bit. Were there any dream legends that you really wanted to add but just didn't pan out?
You know, I really wanted Zangief to be in the game.
Okay.
That was one of my dreams.
Yeah.
I just feel like having a Zangief versus Sergeant Slaughter cage match is something the fans need to have someday.
Yeah. Zack, how about you?
Battle of the chest hair versus the chin on that one, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
I look forward to wrestling Andre the Giant again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sergeant Slaughter, if your character in the game had a power from your specific WWE persona, what would that power be in the game?
Well, my power is motivation. Motivation all the way and the Cobra Clutch. That's the Slaughter Can, the Cobra Clutch has got me where I am today, standing here with you. So that's my motivation. And I'm trying to motivate all the people that not only created the game, but those who want to join in on the game and make it as live as we make it as real live as we can.
Sarge, spare him.
Let him go.
that's all right. It just means I need to do
I
more
get
push-ups.
motivated and I get,
Stop the damn
It's too
match.
hyped up.
yeah.
So everything's very rooted in the Legends right now, which is obviously thrilling. Do you have any thoughts about bringing in contemporary wrestlers in the future, or do you want to keep it in that Legends era?
So we wanted to start there because that's the world that built the wrestling community. That was the beginning of what brought wrestling to the masses.
Mhm.
So we felt it was most suitable to have cities dedicated to these characters
Yeah.
and build them from the ground up. Moving ahead, we hope that WrestleQuest doesn't just have installations, but it's a franchise we can be more committed to and bring next generation wrestlers all the way to the front.
So you talked a little bit about specific wrestling styles earlier. Is that a mechanic that we see celebrated in the game?
Not only a mechanic, but it's areas you can adventure to as your character. So we have areas like Omachi Machi with strong style wrestling in Japan. And we have really wild areas that are kind of deep down under that I think bring some of that really crazy, larger than life underworld current too. So with the true fantasy, we can do anything we want. You may see Andre pick a ring up and snap it in half.
Yeah.
Like we can kind of create new roles that bring that same spectacle to the next level.
Yeah. So with the fantasy elements, did you just want to play into like the super strength of it all, since that obviously is a very easy key?
You had me at strength.
Strength, yeah. Are there any other like classes, I guess you would say, that play into it?
Character classes, definitely something we can speak to.
Yeah. So in most JRPGs, you know, you have your wizard, your fighter, your thief, things like that. With WrestleQuest, we want to WrestleFi those, right? So there's certain mechanics that tie back into which of those you have your party take part as, right? So there's, you know, the powerhouse style in wrestling, big, strong guys throwing people out of the ring. You have more of your technicians that are doing, you know, submission holds and locks and things like that. And each of those play mechanically back into your overall strategy in combat. Because again, it's about taking that tried and true turn-based formula that sometimes gets a little bit boring. You know, sometimes you're just hitting the attack button on autopilot. In WrestleQuest, you can't really do that. You really have to approach it like it's a wrestling match, reacting to the audience, reacting to your opponent, and mixing up and coming at it with a certain degree of strategy.
So, Sergeant Slaughter, have you played the game yet? What's been your impressions? Or are you just really excited to be a part of it?
I've only watched it. I haven't been able to play it yet.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play against my grandson because
Yes.
he's always after me about wanting me to wrestle him. So now we can finally go at it without me having to worry about being too easy on him. And, you know, you can be a legend in this business, but to get into this game, you have to be legendary.
Yeah.
So you just don't do that every day. It's one of those games where you have to be legendary to be in it and become legendary yourself once you become a player.
What made you guys choose the 16-bit style of the game? Did you want to tie it to the classicness of it all, or was there something else?
So WrestleQuest is all about nostalgia. We wanted the art style, the characters, the storytelling, and the combat to all be inspired by the generation of games that raised us and inspired us to eventually join the games industry and to create MegaCat. So WrestleQuest is really just the North Star in the end that we've always wanted to see through.
So we're very tied to the Legends characters, obviously. Does that limit you? Or, like, is there any chance that we could see a female legend come in?
Oh, yeah.
So we do have female legends.
Oh,
we
we
have
do?
more than one.
All right.
And beyond that, we have a massive roster of characters
Yeah.
supporting the storytelling in WrestleQuest that we haven't announced, and we don't want to spoil for players.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Talk about Muchacho Man. Is that it's so delightful.
So I know Muchacho Man personally.
yeah.
And Zach actually used to room with him.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about Muchacho?
So Muchacho Man's whole shtick is that he's in constant kayfabe, which those that don't know, that's the idea that wrestling is, you know, always real, nothing scripted. And he has this very innocent relationship with it. You know, he grew up watching his heroes on screen, and that's kind of carried over into his adult life. So his goal is to become like one of these heroes, right, without compromising that innocent relationship he has with it.
He also follows like the journeyman of getting into independent wrestling, working from small local shows, and then growing himself and going to the masses. So it's very relatable for wrestlers and wrestling fans alike.
All right, this has been amazing. Thank you, guys. All right, WrestleQuest is out on August 8th on PC and consoles. We've got plenty more Comic-Con coverage coming down from the top rope here at IGN, so stick around. We'll be right back after this.